All right, back again. Professor Ill Will, CEO of New Wave Coaching,
Yeah.
sitting down here with Tyler's Wellness, Modern Digital Group. I'll let you introduce yourself, man. Go ahead.
Hey, I appreciate that. Tyler Wellness here, helping open-minded individuals turn their talents and skills into income with Modern Digital Group and the Talents Income Academy.
Absolutely, man. Out here changing lives. Uh, and today in this episode, man, we just came to talk. I have something that I just been thinking about lately. It's just the society at large, the society that we live in, and how people just aren't living up to the standard that they could be, and living up to the life that they want for themselves. I look around, and you see a lot of people who are just in poor shape, in poor health, mentally depleted, and then consciously choosing to do the things that are going to destroy them, choosing to drink alcohol that's going to poison them, choosing to do drugs that are going to destroy their minds, smoking, inhaling these vapes and inhaling these nicotine and weed into their lungs, um, eating these super saturated, tasty, palatable, sugary foods that just is just destroying their health. And it seems like a lot of people are choosing degeneracy over a path of more. They could be much more. And then they look at a certain individual, someone like me, maybe someone like Tyler, someone who is enlightened, who is fit, who is living a life that is like fun, living a life that is like something that they want to do, but instead of trying to get in alignment with that life, they're like bringing you down to their level, interjecting that negativity onto you, and then expecting me to tone myself down so that I can, oh, well, maybe I'm at the beach, I got my shirt off, and then people are like, they got the little snide jokes like, oh, you work out a little bit, yeah? And it's like, good and well, you want to look like me, or you want to look like someone who's in shape, and you don't want that gut that you have. So that's the stance on it, and that's what I would like to talk about in this episode. So
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
yeah,
So, what's interesting, there's so many things that went through my mind as we're even talking about introducing this topic. And, a lot of it, again, it's subconscious, right? We're always fighting these subconscious battles, whether it be choosing the hard right, the right decision for yourself in that given situation, given your goals, or the easy wrong decision, the thing that's like resting when you have a goal of achieving a certain fitness, activity or whatever it is. Like, there are things that we're battling every moment of every single day, and even myself in the past, I'd give in to temptations, and you know, it took a while to become a level of like, okay, I'm the only one that's in control of if I reach my goal.
mm-hmm.
I'm the only one that's gonna care because I'm the only one that has to live in this body. So it doesn't matter if, like, heck, I have even right now, when we go out here and we serve the community for free, there's occasionally, well, every time we go out there, there's this guy that comes up and he's always like making jabs about how I look. Like, and I'm like, all right, just whatever.
What is it saying to you, man? Like,
Man, so he knows I do like, calisthenics and stuff like that as well, and like, I'll do the human flag, or muscle ups, and now I do this whole routine where I do like abs mixed with pull ups and squats and a push up. So it's like this really full body thing, and he'll make jabs like, so my muscles are for show, and stuff like that. But if you think about it, then he's saying that because his muscles are for strength and how he's trying to get big and stuff. But then if you think about it psychologically, the look of
he's
trying
got like
to
that
look
big, bulky football player physique. Like, he just wants to eat all that he wants and doesn't like.
Yeah.
Is it that?
Yeah.
It's not very aesthetic appealing thing. It's not. It doesn't take a lot of hard work and dedication. Yeah, I get it. You're working out, but your diet, you just eat cheeseburgers and shit. You just eat as much as you can and get as big as you can, and
And like,
Can lift as much weight? I guess so.
but like even his, I think the whole belief system behind it is like you think that someone who is aesthetic cannot also be strong, but then that's just like you just haven't met like Spencer.
Right.
Like
Bruce Lee.
yeah, Bruce Lee.
Shit.
Like, but like the concept exists. It takes a longer time, yes, to achieve like strength going this route. But like, I'm not just okay. I can hold a human flag and that's it. I work out for fundamental motions. You know, like
Yeah, it's
okay,
functional.
yeah, being functional with everything, being mobile, and in doing so, I add a lot of volume, which builds a foundational level of strength. And so I'm able to increase my strength overall, hold the weight, all different angles, control it, less like,
A little bit of isometrics.
yeah,
Right.
absolutely. A lot less risk of hurting myself. My strength isn't just at the bottom of the rep or at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just feel like it's fundamentally just smarter to go this way, you know?
Yeah.
But I'll take the jabs and I just kind of rub them off and I just like whatever. But like you say, it's like it's because you see this model and then you're like, okay, I'm this. You could become, you know, lean and also strong, but you'd rather just make jabs at the person who is.
Right. Out of insecurity, ego. You know, they love to hate what they can't have. They love to hate what they don't understand. You know, and it's coming from a place of lack. They're thinking that, yeah, this guy's got this perfect physique and maybe it's come to him easy or something, but you know, there's enough success out here for every single one of us. You know, and this isn't like us coming and talking and being like, oh, we're just so much better than everyone. This is just honestly coming to express this message because, you know, personally, I love humans. I want to see everybody on this planet transcend and turn into the highest version of themselves as
Making
possible.
themselves a priority.
You know, but sometimes you need to hear that harsh message of, you know, you could be better, do better. You know, why are you choosing less consciously at every single given moment? You know, and then you're thinking that you're doing the right thing, you know, by poisoning yourself or by drinking, by drugging, by eating this crappy food, by not exercising, you know, and that's something, it's like why people are like, I think we've gotten out of touch with the natural roots of the human being, and we don't understand that we are a human, we are like an animal on this planet. We are a human animal, and we're out of touch with that just because we've gotten so technologically advanced to the point of where we don't have to hunt for our food anymore and run and go and hunt or forage for vegetables or whatever. We can just go to the Burger King and eat whatever food that tastes really good, or you know, you don't have to move. You can just work from home, you know, and you can just work on a computer. You don't have to go outside to get sunlight. You don't have to breathe fresh oxygen. You can just sit inside all day, you know, eating poor food, not exercising, smoking, and it's acceptable. It's acceptable. It's acceptable in, you know, our entire society. It's almost like it's rewarded, and almost like they set it in place so that it's like they make it like that. This is what they want. They don't want you to be strong. They don't want you to be fit. They don't want you to be enlightened. They want you to be less than. They want you to be on pain medication and like, you know, what is it, like mental medication, all these type of things. You know, that's why a lot of people have anxiety and depression and all these things, is because you're not moving. You have all this pent up energy. You're not moving. You're not fulfilling your higher self. You know, depression is because you have a goal, and each year you're getting farther and farther away from it. You're not getting closer to the goal. That's going to create depression. You know, it's going to create a feeling of insecurity, of lack, of less than, versus you could be getting better every single year. Every single day you could be doing something that makes you better, makes you a better individual. You know, something I like to think about is like, you know, trees or animals or just the creatures of this earth. They all do what they're supposed to do. You know, it's only the human being in our godlike essence who has the ability to not do what we're designed to do. We can choose to miss. We can choose to not exercise. We can choose to eat crap food. We can choose to smoke and do drugs. But I think that it makes you more in tune with your highest essence and your highest, the highest level individual that you can be when you choose to fulfill that and choose to become the best version of yourself, you know. And I think that's something that makes us unique. You have the possibility to miss, but it makes you an outstanding individual when you go in line with nature and with what you're capable of doing. I think that we all are.
Man, that hits on quite a bit because, again, even the concept when I say to make yourself a priority, right? I often back that up with just a lot of logical thinking. Like, people approach me with their problems and I will logically walk them through the steps that they could take to solve that problem. But it's not always logic that people need because they're emotionally attached to missing, or they're emotionally attached to the identity that they've created in being comfortable not achieving the goal, not becoming that better version of themselves because of maybe socially, when you become better, you know that your current social circles may talk to you in a certain way, they may question you, they may not support you, they may support you, but you're afraid. And that's like a subconscious thing. You're not gonna just know and admit that you're afraid, but you're afraid of the change it's gonna create when you change in your environment. Then on top of that, you also might have fear that you might fail. The fear of potentially like you taking actions towards achieving this goal and trying to change, coming short of that goal, judgment from your circles, how's that gonna make you look? And then all these subconscious thoughts that you might not even ever bring to your conscious awareness, but they run in the background of your subconscious programming, dictating the fact that you choose to not act then. You know, it's like, it's so deep when you unravel all these little things, and I've like really got to do that a lot by like having a lot of conversations with people lately. But for me, like you said, you have to choose the better version of yourself. Every day you're moving in a direction, whether it be disintegration and becoming less, or growth and progression and becoming more. So like you can either...
Or choosing to do nothing. That's a choice also. You had mentioned earlier, like a tree, for example. You know, a tree just grows. It just keeps growing. It doesn't just stop growing. Why as humans do we just stop growing? And then you also mentioned, you're talking about stagnation. You know, it's either, there's like a law. It's like either you're growing or you're dying or you're going backwards. And a lot of people are dying. A lot of people are either by choosing to do the wrong things or choosing to do nothing, going backwards. Time is going forwards. You're still in the same spot that you were in last year, or even worse than last year. You're just getting worse.
Yeah, and that's it. Like,
I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, you magnified, you added to it, and amplified the thought. So and again, like you said, it's like the stagnation concept does not exist. You're never staying stagnant. You're always moving in a direction. I've said this in a previous YouTube or TikTok video before, but like you're always moving, and like you have to choose growth, or you're by default picking to die, picking the root of, you know, disintegration and degeneration, becoming degenerate.
Right. And that's something too, like I think about too, is just like those loser friends, man. I don't hang out with those loser friends anymore. People who, you know, judge my positive choices, make fun of my positive choices. What's wrong with being in alignment with God? What's wrong with being in alignment with the highest version of yourself? What's wrong with being fit? What's wrong with being sober? What's wrong with exercising, with working out? You know, a lot of people, like I said, they have these insecurities about themselves. You know, it's not me, but it's them. They have this insecurity about themselves, and when you see something that they like, uh, but they know that they can't have, or maybe they just feel like they're not good enough to have, or not good enough to have the dedication and the hard work to the discipline to pursue it, they mock you for it. They throw jabs at you, and it doesn't have to be that way. You can choose. This path of growth is for everyone, and this message, we're only making this message because we love you. We love you, and we want to see the best version of you. We want to see the best version of the earth, you know, because it's only as good as you are on a personal development level. That's how good your life is going to be. If you are a person who is undeveloped in a personal level, your life is going to be a mirror image of that. The higher level, the more higher level individual that you are, the more money you're going to make. The better you're going to look, the more health and more life that you're going to have on this earth. So there's only one solution, and that is evolution. Is to keep growing, keep getting better. So yeah, I think that if a lot of us can just tap into that childlike energy, as a child, you kind of think that anything's possible, but somehow as you grow up, you get into society, and then you start to feel, you get these restrictions, and you can't do this, and you can't act like this way, and no, you can't walk around with your shirt off, or no, it's not cool to have muscles, you need a job, and we value money over personal development when it should be the opposite way.
Mm-hmm. Precisely. And I want to also tap on, again, prior to getting really deep into some of this, we talked about how this might be a harsh message. And, it comes from a place of love. I know for myself personally, I could have been, and society will pat you on the back and say that it's okay to stay where you're at. But I don't need that to become the best version of myself. I need the accountability. I need harsh messages like this to wake you up sometimes and push you to the direction of your goals. And the thing is, the world's gonna say everything's okay. The world's gonna be like, fine, it's okay to be weak, it's okay to not be the best version of yourself, because it allows someone else to have control of you. If you realize that you're giving up the control over your life and the direction of where you end up to external circumstances, of course they're gonna let you think that it's okay. That's compliance. And if you become compliant, they have control over you, whoever they may be. The they is the ones that are moving you in the direction that you're going. So we look at, again, you said pharmaceuticals earlier, they're pushing you and saying that it's okay for this and that, and all these imbalances with chemicals can be solved by other chemicals being added to your body in the form of pills. This is just, it's to keep you in a system, to keep you coming back, to keep you buying more from them, to keep you reliant. If you're reliant on them for it because you can't figure out that internally, you have the ability to regulate a lot of things when you come to, I wouldn't say necessarily come to enlightenment.
Mm-hmm.
Realize that you have the ability to control your own thinking. No one else can take that from you. If you really embody that, your emotional states are regulated. You don't feel depression. You don't feel the sadness. Sad things can happen. You will be affected emotionally, but it's not a permanent state of being. You don't need pills to change it. You have this here. You got to make yourself a priority though, and realize that. And after that, then you're empowered. Then you can do whatever you want to do. You're like, oh, you want to get shredded? These are the steps you got to do. Are you going to be disciplined to do it? Let's go.
Mm-hmm. Once you get your mind in check, it gets a lot easier. It's hard to get in shape and have self-discipline if you're eating Matrix programming food, if you're eating McDonald's. You think you're gonna have willpower after eating McDonald's and drinking alcohol all night, smoking? All this stuff is killing your motivation. And that's why it's hard for you to stick to a diet, or it's hard for you to stick to an exercise routine, is because you're putting all these things into your body that's zapping your willpower. You know, you had made a point earlier about like pharmaceuticals and drugs and all these things that we're adding into our bodies. But I find on my journey that on a spiritual journey, you actually have more by having less. We find spiritual enlightenment not by the addition of things, but by the omission of things, by removing things, by stripping down all this unnecessary things that you have occurred and added into your body. A lot of people are adding caffeine into their bodies, adding weed and THC into their bodies, adding nicotine into their bodies, adding alcohol, adding propaganda and news and just defeatist content into their minds, and they need to go the opposite. You need to go about a path of removal of these things. And at the base, you'll find that you are a perfect being just as you are, without anything. And I think that's what a lot of people need.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And also a fundamental challenge for someone who hears that, like, it can be a challenge to try to remove and change habits without replacing them with others. So make sure that as you recognize what you need to change, what needs to get removed from your life, you plant in its place a replacement. Even if it's meditation, worship, prayer, whatever you wish to do in that time instead of, but you will become stronger internally for taking that change, for making that step. If you want to hit a vape, rather than hit a vape, which takes no time at all, you can also just take a moment to be one with your thoughts. It takes no time at all. You can do that anywhere, anytime. No one will even know. It doesn't even create a cloud of vapor.
Breathe air. You know, that was something that was fundamental in my path to kind of recovery and to sobriety, was adding in the right things, adding in the right foods, adding in exercise, adding in meditation. Meditation is huge for addictions because it allows you to kind of get that dopamine and that feeling from a natural source, you know, and allows you to have that willpower, control over your mind. You know, I look around and just flat out, man, a lot of times I would just be pissed, man, just because it's just like people are just walking around the earth like less than, fat, you know, just out of shape, poor health habits, you know, teaching their kids the same message, and it's just not making the world a better place. You know, you could be so much better than what you are, you know, but you have to consciously choose it at every given moment. You know, like I said, like society is programmed to make you weak, make you fat. You know, that's why there's food on every single corner. There's drugs on every single corner. There's vape here. You can buy weed now. It's recreational. They want you to have all these things to dim your light. And you can shine so much brighter if you just go about the path of removing these things and getting in tune with who you truly are, and understanding that the Creator, He put you here to impact lives, to make a difference, to make other people happy, and to have success, you know. Not slavery. A lot of us are choosing slavery in these things. Slavery to caffeine addiction. Gotta have my coffee every single day. If I don't have my coffee, shit, it's gonna be a bad day. If I don't have my vape, oh man, it's gonna be a bad day. If I don't have this weed, it's gonna be a bad day. So rather than choosing slavery, choose freedom.
We are so frustrated for what you could be and choosing not to. And sometimes it's like you don't mean to choose it. I know I don't mean to sometimes choose not to be all that I could be in the day, but as Will said earlier, it's like you might fall off one day, but you choose consciously to get back on again. And like, another thing that really frustrates me is the divisions that are put here to keep us distracted and weak. Like we're all just trying to grow and be better, period. The narratives that are pushed to make you believe that there are things holding you back right now because, let's say, because you're a woman.
Because you're black.
There are so many of these narratives that don't serve you, and there's a flip to the exact same narrative that serves you and empowers you. And all it is choosing. You have to choose. That's it. What narrative works in your favor? And then you will literally start to see the world through that lens. There is a lens that disempowers you. There is a lens that you're currently potentially seeing the world through that makes you a victim. And the moment you can see that lens, wipe it clean, you realize you're empowered.
Yeah, that's that victim mentality, man. You gotta drop that shit. Victim is a bitch. A lot of people are bitches. They choose it, you know, not even, maybe subconsciously, you know, they just, oh man, I was born this way and my parents did this and this and that and this is how I grew up and my skin color is this color and this is why I'm this way and there's nothing I can do to change it. That's just a victim mentality, you know, and that's a sad thing because it's like, you know, you're just complaining. You choose to complain, you're gonna stay the same.
Mm-hmm. There have been people in your exact same situation who have overcome all these obstacles and more, but they chose to look at the situation as something that they could tackle. They believed that they could do something about it, and because of the belief in themselves and what they could potentially do, they took action. You currently believe you cannot do differently because you believe that there are things that are going to stop you. By having those belief systems, it is not working in your favor. It literally holds you back. So changing your belief and tackling it at that core root problem changes your entire life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I look around, man, and I love to see other people who are on the same path, other people who are fit, other people who are mentally in good health, you know, positive mindset, high spirits, you know, energetic, adding value to the world, able to make money, able to provide for their family. You know, I love to see that, but it really does piss me off when I just look around and just see the sickness and the illness. You know, I think there's a proverb from the Bible that says, you will look up and you will see their curse. You know, and that's why I look up and I look around and it's like you can see the people who are cursed.
Mm-hmm.
You can see it. You can see the ones who are sin. There, you will see the sinner's curse when you look up. You will see who they are and the choices that they do. You know, there was a status update I had made. I had said, you know, as you are is like as you've been. As you've been is as you are. You know, so all those choices in the past that you made, they currently have led you to your present reality. You know, had you made different decisions in the past, you'd be in a different state of reality. So you can always start from the present moment and you can start to make better choices for your future. And in 1 year, 5 years, you can be in a much better place. You know, it's so sad for me to look around and it's like year by year, it amazes me. It's not to brag, I'm not the perfect individual, you know, but it's like I look around and it's like I'll meet someone like, say from high school. And it's like in high school they were a man, athlete, yada yada, this and that, this accolades, going to this school. And it's like a year later, 5 years later, 10 years later, it's like they're getting worse. How come it is I see you a year ago and I see you now and you're fatter, you look sicker, you look more in poor health or skinnier. A lot of people just be skinny as hell, like how do you say it? Emaciated, just looking sickly, man. Just not looking healthy. Like, why are you so damn skinny, bro? Get your weight up. you
I
know,
know. Literally
you
boners.
know, like are you smoking and just deteriorating yourself, drinking alcohol, and then it can go the opposite way, malnourished, and then it can go the opposite way. People eat too much, overindulge,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, why is it that year after year, you guys are getting worse, and year after year, I keep getting better? I just had a 30th birthday, and I'm like, I can't say in the best shape, but I'm still in pretty good shape. Like, most of my clothes from high school still fit. You know, I'm still in pretty good shape, and the plan is to keep getting better.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like a lot of people, they give up. They give up hope. They just give into it, and they just keep getting worse year after year. Waistline increasing, clothes going up in size, bigger jeans, bigger waistline, more health issues, and it's just like, man, you can. It doesn't have to be that way.
And I think that even for a listener out there, one major thing that might be going through their mind is like what they can do right now then to start changing it. And honestly, it all, he Will said this earlier, but it comes down to what you consume. And when I say that, it's not just your food. Your food is the physical consumption. You know, you're fueling your body. You put premium gas in a race car, it's gonna go nice. You put regular gas in the race car, you're not gonna get the same performance out of it. Think of your body the same. You can put regular food in your body, you might not get the optimal performance. So you put better foods in it, you look at what happens. It's gonna take some time, some cycles have to happen. The gas has to flow through the system for a while to get it all regulated and changed. And after that, now you're gonna get that performance difference. So, when it comes to all of our goals, it starts with educating yourself and realizing that it's possible. So you can start with consuming content that teaches you how, teaches you why things work, teaches you concepts. You don't need to know everything, you just need to know how things work beyond what you currently see. If all you currently see, if you're currently stuck in a cycle of believing that your family is doomed to certain disease, you can then research how to combat that disease with diet and exercise. And there are changes for a lot of this disease because you realize it's just your body in dis-ease. And it's only dis-ease because there are certain things that you're either not doing or not feeding yourself. Like, they discovered scurvy because they looked at what these people that got scurvy were missing from their body rather than what they had. They were eating what was available to them, but they were missing all of these nutrients from the fruits. So that caused them to have scurvy. So you look at these diseases that could run through your family, and then you look at what you eat, or you look at your lack of activity, and you realize a correlation. And then you realize that that also is a correlation between other people who have that same disease. And then you make that small change, and all of a sudden now you don't have it, or it's better, or it's less. You start moving down that path, and then your family story becomes, this is the guy that figured out that if we did this, XYZ wouldn't be so bad. And now because I do this, and my grandpa did this, and my father did this, now we don't have this disease. It doesn't run in the family. Like, small changes like that go a long way.
Big facts. Yeah, that's just something I run into too. Is like you'll see it like, yeah, my whole family has heart disease. I'm bound to get heart disease, or yeah, all of us are big bone. You know, it's just like that's a victim mindset. That you're feeding into. Obesity is not genetic. There's not. I mean, there could be probably a fat gene, no doubt. Like, if you're fat and your husband's fat and your wife's fat and you have a baby, the baby's probably genetically predisposed to be fat to some degree. You're gonna have more weight. But through the correction of your diet, if they were to go through and start doing the healthier habits, that would change in due time. They might have a little bit of a genetic predisposition to be to have more weight, but not to be fat. You can change that type of stuff. So don't feed into that victim mindset of this is how I am and this is how I'm going to be and this is how my whole family is, because a lot of things can be changed just by making that conscious choice of the individual that you want to be. You know, I don't think God put us here to be fat. I don't think that was his plan, for us to indulge and be in poor health and out of shape and stuff like that.
And on that note, in Napoleon Hill's books, he talks about cosmic habit force. And you think about that in generations. We were talking about just a moment ago the family having big boned or heart disease and stuff like that. It's cosmic habit force. Cosmic habit force is the concept of habits being passed along generation after generation after generation. And so, like, the rich, the reason that they get richer is because they pass on their habits of what they did to get richer, how they invested their money, how they survived certain economic downfalls, how they XYZ, and they pass that on. We don't necessarily see a lot of concepts getting passed along and think about them as far as like what is the generational effect of this going to be. But it happens.
A lot of people are passing on poverty.
Just through the thinking, a lack, fear of not having enough. Through thinking in these cycles, you pass on thought habits like that to your offspring, and then your offspring will automatically respond to situations in their environment given how they learned from you, or even the media, because that's a form of education. If you look at it, you learn from these idols that they put on the screen so they can teach you how to respond in certain situations. So they can teach you that certain concepts are okay. They can teach you that people in your situation would respond to this type of environment in this way. And so they can pass on poverty mindset just in the television and the radio and the music and all of it. So you have to keep your guard up mentally a lot. But when you realize it, you always can just pick the hard right as well.
Mm-hmm. You are constantly being programmed. Everything that you consume, the content that you watch, the TikToks that you watch, the music that you're listening to, the movies that you watch, it's all programming your data set. You know, and that's how we make our choices in life, is off of a data set. You know, if I was someone who was out of shape and I just had the data set of, maybe I sat down and watched like hours and hours of content about videos of how to work out and these foods to eat and this is what's bad for you and this is what's causing cancer and this and all this information inside of my brain, and then I go out into the world, I'm going to make decisions off of that new data set rather than the decisions of the old data set. Maybe my parents gave me these different data set of eat fried chicken and eat all this bad food and soul food and all this bad food that's bad for you, and we smoke weed and we do all this stuff. Everybody in the whole family smokes weed, so we all do it. So you can change your data set, and then from there you'll at least have the awareness of, this is a bad choice now. I have a new data set, it's inside of my mind. If I make the choice to eat that greasy fried food, if I make the choice to smoke that weed into my lungs or smoke those drugs into my lungs, I know that's a bad thing, you know, and that's going to create guilt, and that's going to create a feeling of you could do more, and that's going to eventually deter you from doing that, because it's going to create a cognitive dissonance. You have a goal, or you have information that you know you should be doing, and then on the other hand, you're doing the opposite decision. It's going to create a problem, and you're not going to want that problem. You're going to want to do something different. You're going to want to walk in alignment with your goal, rather than to do the opposite of what you know you should be doing, what you could be doing.
In the very moment you decide to start walking in alignment with that goal, everything changes. You feel better because now you're doing what you know you should be doing, and you're like, okay, I'm doing what I told myself I'm gonna do. So it's positive reinforcement. You're building on your goal. You're gonna see the fact that you're changing in a positive direction. everything literally changes the moment you decide to make that change. But the hardest part is overcoming the fears that are subconsciously there that I talked about earlier, from how you may fear judgment, how you may fear the change, how you may fear failing, how you may fear all of these circumstances that might not really even be that big. We make them out too bigger with our brains.
Yeah, man. So with that, I guess what you feel like we want to keep going, or you want to shut it down?
We can wrap that. Like, this is a lot.
This
I
is
think
a lot.
to digest, even just putting this on repeat, this is gonna program your mind
It
to
is.
start to see everything you do as a weighted object. Like, okay, opportunity cost is here. Am I building myself towards my goal, or am I disintegrating, and am I moving in the opposite direction? You know, you're always moving in a direction with every choice you make. Put your goals on a scale and ask yourself, the actions you're taking today, are they moving you towards or away from them? That's it.
Very true. It's good advice, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
You're dropping gems all episode.
Thanks, man. That's what I do, man.
Yep, we got high performance coach right here.
Yeah,
And
man.
again, we just turned, just got a birthday here, so now
Agent in reverse now.
agent in reverse.
Yeah, man.
So
So with that, man, ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is you're choosing to miss. You choose to miss, man. Because if you don't know, and you know, if you don't know you can do better, then you can't do better. But if you know you can do better, then you probably will do better. So
this may catch some heat, but they say sin is going against the self. And so if ignorance is choosing to miss, ignorance is a sin. So if you're choosing to be ignorant on any topic whatsoever, and you choose to not educate yourself on it, you are choosing to sin. You are choosing to go against yourself. So educate yourself on the topics that matter to you, that are going to move you towards your goal. Do not choose to be ignorant on it. There are things that are happening all around you every single day, and they are hoping that you stay ignorant so you have no voice when it matters. So make yourself a priority.
absolutely, go out there and be the wave of change. It starts with you.
Absolutely.
We love you guys, man. It's not hate. This is not hateful message.
Comes from a heart.
Yeah, man.
Truly. Because, like, again, I would highly appreciate it if someone would have woken me up before, like, obviously, like, you delivering me the book, Think and Grow Rich. What?
Yeah.
That was it.
That's amazing to see you implement that information and change. I think if people were to do that, they'd see change in their life. A lot of people, they just like, I'd rather watch Netflix.
Yeah.
Book,
Yeah.
nah, smoke some weed. Let's go talk to some girls at the club. Let's get trippy, take some mushrooms. That might help you, maybe. But not without some meditation and some awareness. But
This life is like a movie, but we're all either the background characters or you're the main actors.
true.
And like in becoming enlightened, you become a main character. And now you have actual plots and your life matters. Not saying your life doesn't matter necessarily otherwise.
A lot of
but
people act like their life doesn't matter though.
you got exactly. You
You're
could
living-
literally be a main character.
You could be main character vibes. The body that you want, the money that you want, the career that you want, the mental health that you want. Not a slave to substances, to drugs.
No. Would you pick this character that you are right now if you went into this life and it was a video game and you knew that there are certain things you wish to achieve, whether it be like building a family or a business or, achieving certain, fitness goals, going on marathons and stuff like that? Would you choose the character that you currently are? And if you were given this character by clicking random, you know what to do. Now, you can do specific actions, disciplining your character to make certain moves, and it will change your character. You will be pouring into your stats. So, question becomes, will you do it if the answer that you said earlier was no? Will you pour into your stats? Will you build your character up to be the person you want it to be?
It's a good question, and we can't answer it, man. We can provide you the knowledge, but you have to put in the work. It's up to you.
Mm-hmm. With that, we'll wrap this up. Again, great conversation. Appreciate you, bro.
It was awesome.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. Do not forget to subscribe if you haven't yet already. And if you think this message is something that your friends, family, peers, whatever need to see and they haven't, go ahead and share that with them as well. Because this, again, comes from a place of like personally looking back on lessons that I've learned and just kind of accelerating the process for you guys, having conversations with other people like high performance coach Will here, and many different people as well, and just pouring into the community. So
Absolutely. All right, man. With that, Professor Ill Will, CEO of New Wave Coaching, signing out.
and Tyler Wellness, helping open-minded individuals make themselves a priority and monetize their talents and skills. See you in the next one.
See ya.